Hello and welcome to this week's edition of Newsgram. How many times has your life been turned upside down by the appearance of a key? What is this key for? Should I throw it away? Maybe I should just put it back in the drawer. I don't know, it usually goes back in the drawer for me, because all I've ever found are ordinary keys. Nothing you could describe as otherworldly, maybe mythical or even fancy. Warwick, on the other hand, was given a most unusual key, one he found highly curious, a most interesting key. It looked like an ancient enemy, an enemy believed to be a myth. Yes, I've drifted off into a world of make-believe, in a place very much like Middle-earth. Join me, will you, as we head back in time to an era when dragons filled the skies over Scotland. Why? Because this edition of Newsgram is based on the book The Prophecy by J.B. Liquorish. The year was 2000 BC, and times were dark. War had suffocated the world, and all sense of peace had been lost. Foe after foe came, deadly foes, the like of which had never emerged in the world. But they never walked upon the earth. They ruled the skies, and struck down from the high winds like a thunderstorm with powers that seemed endless. Wherever these foes struck, only death, destruction, and fire would remain. Hope for the survival of civilization waned. However, when humanity is threatened, humanity fights back.
What I wanted to do straight away was combine my love of J.R.R. Tolkien's Lord of the Rings and The Hobbit with my own experiences of hiking through Scotland, because I knew the landscape so well. The idea was to take the imagination and magic that sort of inspired by Tolkien and then bring it into the real Scotland that everyone knows today. So you marry the two together, and it just seemed the perfect idea. And then all the characters, all the locations, the story, all just fell into place, and I just knew exactly what I wanted to write.
Not only has he done that, he's done it so well that people are starting to take notice. The Prophecy is a good old-fashioned fantasy novel filled with everything you could possibly want, especially dragons, and not just the occasional dragon. In this story, the people of Scotland are always feeling the threat of these fiery beasts. They live in desperation, and combined with the majesty of Scotland, it's no wonder this book is being met with critical acclaim.
I am absolutely flattered with how well my book has done, especially since it's my first novel. When I first wrote it, it was just going to be something nice for myself, a really nice achievement. And since its publication, it has met such success, which has blown my mind. And it's won several awards, like within months of it being published. And then recently, I had a really amazing first place award come through in the Outstanding Creator Awards. I won first place in the paranormal category. And I thought, wow, my first novel, and it's just won first place award. Absolutely amazing.
The main character is Warwick. You heard me mention him in the beginning. He's a young man living with his parents in a small stone house in Scotland. He's a very relatable character who takes on an extraordinary journey.
But throughout the journey, he's not just journeying to find answers to this prophecy. He's journeying to find his inner self that's been lost and taken from him. So it's more of a journey of the inner self as well as the external self.
This is our hero Warwick, and he sets out on a hero's journey to find some answers.
Yeah, it's definitely a hero's journey.
Curiosity and concern stung Warwick. The parcel in his hand felt weighty and hard. Not being able to bear the suspense of what had just come to light, he opened it quickly. What he saw sitting on the cloth confused him greatly. But had he known what would become of it, he would not have been confused, but scared. Why had he been given a key, he kept asking himself. It was the most unusual key you would ever see. Most were made of wood, if you were lucky enough to own a lock, but this was forged of steel, and very long, about 7 inches. Normally, metal keys were only forged for castles and places of high importance. Why should I have one, he thought to himself. Jagged teeth protruded from both sides of the shaft, but what caught his eye most was a glistening scarlet ruby set into the handle. Pretty intriguing excerpt, right?
the challenges he has to face, and some of them, so many of them, he has to face alone. It will take an immense amount of courage and strength to be able to do that.
It's a great story, and it's a fiction book, so we can't go on too far, but what I'll tell you is Warwick's journey takes him across some of the wildest and most challenging terrains in Scotland, and his only aid is a cloaked mythical man. Oh yes, there are all kinds of twists and surprises here, but I'm not going to ruin it for you. What fun would that be? If you like fantasy books, add The Prophecy by J.B. Liquorish to your reading list. It's available online at Amazon.com, Balboa Press, Barnes & Noble, and pretty much all the usual places. And that'll do it for the Middle-earth edition of Newsgram from webtalkradio.com.